Hi, welcome to the Weekends Over podcast. I'm your host, Alex. I'm here with Taylor. Taylor, say hello.
What's up, everybody? Hope everybody had a good weekend. I didn't. Actually, I did. Auburn won
Did,
basketball.
didn't ask. Max, say hello. He's 30 minutes late.
Hello. I'm 30 minutes early.
All right, we'll go ahead and talk about our records from last week's for our picks. Taylor, go ahead and take the reins.
Okay, so we'll start with record, and then we'll get to locks and sneaks. But me and Max both went 6-4, um, and Alex went 3-7. So
That's right.
I hope you didn't bet with Alex last week. Um, he's got a lot of crow to eat about Ole Miss that he'll probably get into later. But now on the other side for Alex, I will give him this: both his sneak and his lock hit. Sneaks and his locks hit. So,
That's right.
and Max also, I'll get in you.
Dude, that's 4 weeks in a row.
Yeah, Max also hit on his sneak and his lock, which was pretty good. And my lock and my sneak also hit. We all hit this week.
We
I don't
should
think
have
that's.
done. We should have
We
thrown a
should
bet out
fucking
there.
bet
We
these
should
games, I
have.
know.
We always joke. We always joke we're gonna do a parlay with ours. We would have. We would have won. Yeah, I had Clemson and Penn State both covering, and they did. Alex had a Cal covering and Duke covering and Utah covering. That all happened. And Max had South Carolina covering and Mississippi State covering, and it all happened.
Woo! A
That's
little 7 parlay. That would have
that's
made some money right there.
that's insane.
Hey, we can make one this week. We can y'all send it to me and I can send it up Preston's way. I bet this Georgia screwed me this weekend. But so did the Falcons. What the hell? But anyways.
I was about to say it.
I told you about that Falcons game. I was scared it was gonna happen
Real
again.
quick, real quick, just and then last thing on that. But yeah, good job on everybody there. Wish we'd have put money on it. But overall records now. Max has taken the lead over Alex. He's now 29-26. Alex falls to 26-27, and I am somewhere down here at 24-29.
I went 3-7, and Taylor still did not pass me. I just
I
want to
picked
let
up
y'all
I
know.
picked up 3 games. We're
Yeah,
only 2 games back now.
you did. I gotta stop. Some of the games I just picked. Like maybe it'll happen. I just gotta go with like my brain instead of like my gut because I would have done better on some of those games. But it happens. It kind of happens to all of us. Max, congratulations. Hopefully you continue the hot streak, and if we'll do that this week, and we'll put some money on the game, and we'll all throw
Yes,
some
we
money
will.
in.
And
I wouldn't
now
call
that
it
we're
a
gonna
hot
put
streak.
money on it, now that we've got put money on it, none of our locks and sneaks are gonna hit this week.
Oh yeah, no, it's over with now.
Yeah, but
Actually,
all
I
right.
feel good about them.
I like mine too. I like yours a lot because that was one I called
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago, and I kind of forgot it was happening this week. But we'll get into that later. But first, we're going to talk about our kind of recap from last week and what happened. So I'm going to go first and apologize to Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin. I said, he can't win a big game. He's never won a big game, which was true, but that is no longer true because he took a big win against Georgia. Not really on the back of Jackson Dart, but more on the back of the defense. The defensive line dominated that game. I mean, it really was. I know Georgia kind of came out and took the lead, but after that, I mean, Ole Miss handled the game pretty well. The weather obviously did not help anybody, but I mean, they both had to play in the rain, and Ole Miss kind of dominated. They looked great. As long as they don't, have a mess up, they should be a lot for the college football playoff, which I did not think they were going to make, but they looked good. What do y'all have to add to this?
Uh, yeah, the score wasn't as close as it wasn't even that close. Like they won by 18, but it wasn't even that close. I mean, Georgia's only touchdown came because Ole Miss threw a pick and Georgia took it back to the 20-yard line. Other than that, they kicked one field goal. Carson Beck looked absolutely terrible. I don't know going forward about Georgia. I think they're going to beat Tennessee this week, but probably. But
They got a tough schedule, man. I mean, they got to play Georgia Tech as well, and I mean, obviously we'll get that in just a minute, but Georgia Tech's a
and
good team. Tennessee's defense is good. Tennessee is like Ole Miss, and
mhm.
they are at home, which is going to help a lot. But I mean, That game's gonna be close. Surprisingly, I didn't think it would, but I think it will now.
Yeah.
And
Look.
I'm gonna leave her, or I'm gonna waive whatever his name is. He had a good game. I mean, I know it's Mississippi State, but he had a good game last week.
He did. I got to see how he came out. He got hurt, so we got to see what that looks like going this week. But back to Ole Miss because that's what we're talking about. Yeah. Their backup quarterback come like that was probably the biggest thing at
Yeah.
play of the game. Like I lost all the momentum down 7-0, and Jackson Dart got hurt, and he goes in there and just dices up Georgia's defense.
Who's Ole Miss's other game? I know they play Mississippi State. Who else is it?
Florida.
Okay, well, we saw what Texas did to them, but it is at Florida, so we'll have to kind of watch that one.
It's at Florida, but it's 11 a.m.
I don't know. That's an Ole Miss game to lose right there, so you got to watch out.
No, I mean that would be the Ole Miss thing because if they win both those, they're in. They still might get to Atlanta. I don't know. Good luck explaining how that works.
LSU could still get to Atlanta.
Yeah, 8 teams could finish tied with the 2 losses if Missouri upsets South Carolina this week, and Texas A&M beats Texas. We'll get into that.
We'll get into the scenarios in a little bit. Let's not get into it yet because we got that. Max, I mean, do you have anything else to say? I mean, what did you think of how Ole Miss and what did you think of Lane Kiffin's play call? Me and Taylor before you got on were kind of talking about it. It was a little more conservative than normal.
Yeah, I mean, they did a lot of kind of play action protection where they would pull guards a lot, and I think it confused not confused, but it gave them almost a half second longer to throw the ball, and get it out on time. And also I just think that I didn't believe my eyes with Georgia. I mean, they don't have any playmakers on offense.
Yep.
They can't run the ball good. Like
ETN was supposed to be the answer. He is.
Yeah, he's not.
When I was watching that first drive and they threw that pick and they did score on it, but they were on like the 15 and it took them 8 rushes to get 15 yards basically. Like
even against Texas, their offense wasn't good.
Their defense won
them that game.
Ole Miss ran a lot more RPOs than they normally do. That's what the pull in the guard. So, it was really like. I want to give him credit. It was like Kirby Smart-esque, maybe even Nick Saban-esque, like knowing, like it's almost like he probably had to fight this hard. He went, once we had like 13 or 15 points, like I don't think he didn't think they could score on him. I mean, so he just went into conservative mode. Don't throw a pick 6 or don't turn it over, and they can't beat him. And he was absolutely right. Walter Nolan looked good. That whole Mississippi State's defensive line. I don't know if y'all saw that play where the whole offensive line just did not block. For Georgia, I don't know. They're a mess. Their offensive line recruiting has not panned out over the last few years, which is what
that's the thing with me. It's like now it's like I'm seeing Georgia, and it's just like I can see. It's like, hey man, it's just they don't have the guys. It's not that like they're not scheme. It's like no, it's just their guys aren't very good. I mean, I'm not gonna say they're not very good. They
don't really get open.
They are good, but they don't have receivers that separate. Sometimes they do, I guess.
How is Carson Beck the best Georgia can do at quarterback?
I think Georgia was.
I think it's a lot of different. I don't think Carson Beck is as bad as he's playing. I think he is bad. He's not like a great QB, but he's not as bad as he's playing. I think a lot of it goes into play call, offensive line, lack of a run game, and lack of receivers. Because we saw what he can do last year with good receivers. He can.
I'll say this: like last year, he had Ladd McConkey and Brock Bowers, and those two guys aren't just NFL guys. Those guys are like big time NFL guys, now it's like, okay, well, was the quarterback just throwing to those guys? Could anybody throw to those guys? Pretty much, or
Taylor Thompson could throw to those guys.
I could, yeah.
I
mean, damn, and I can't throw. So, hey, did you know that? Now they can stop retiring that stupid ass stat. They always like to say that Georgia hasn't lost in 52 games unless they played Alabama. That was the first time since before COVID. Actually, nope, since Joe Burrow beat them in the SEC championship game in 2020 that they lost to a team not named Alabama.
To an Alabama offensive coordinator.
Mike Bobo is going to get fired this year.
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
will.
Yeah, I saw a funny meme where it showed that same stat where it was like Georgia, 52-0 against teams not named Alabama or from Nick Saban coaching tree.
they keeping it going. Um,
All
yeah.
right, we'll go ahead and jump into the next one that I want to talk about. It's Miami. I'm so like butthurt because I have picked the other team to cover every single week, and last week I was like, fine, I'm done with it. I'm done. I'm done picking the other team, and what they do, they lose. I mean, so frustrating because like I knew it was gonna happen, but I was just like, whatever. I'm not gonna do it this time because it just stopped happening, and Duke pissed me off the last time because they should have done it. But I mean, they could not stop the run. I saw like there before this, they were like top 25 in the run defense, but they really hadn't played anybody yet that really runs it good. I know Boston College is a team that does. I don't know if they played them. I think they did, but
No, I don't think they have.
okay. But I mean, Georgia Tech, dangerous team. Haynes King, other Haynes. I mean, they got it going on, and they were really taking. They took control of the game. Cam Ward. I mean, he was obviously the best player on the field. I still think, and I don't know how much this hurts his Heisman, but I
He
think it.
he was just it wasn't his fault, but they put his back against the wall. They made him like his team made him
Yeah, and
forced
then.
him to because he
Mhm,
couldn't keep the ball. They couldn't get the ball back. Like
yep.
and it was just a lot of pressure. That's why like I worry about Miami now that I watch that because when they play SMU runs ball really good. And if
Mhm,
SMU makes ACC title game, which right now they're the only undefeated ACC team in
mhm.
conference, so they're fast tracked. Um,
I'm happy
yeah,
that they
you can.
lost
Yeah, me too.
because I I think that leaves it the one ACC team. I don't see two
Mhm.
getting in. I just don't now. I think it leaves one out, which will be good for
The
the
SEC
SEC.
teams, which we'll get
SEC.
into in a second. But no, yeah, Miami, man, he tried. Cam Ward tried. They just, I don't know. I mean, even that fourth down throw on the
Mhm.
drive of the last drive that didn't count. That sounded like Kobe Ross right there. Uh, that didn't count. That was incredible throw. Miami, yeah, that
Yeah.
Georgia Tech, great game plan, and
I mean they had it. I mean they played
mhm.
good the whole time. Uh, how do you feel, Max? What do you think? I mean, do you think it
Same
was
as
going to
you.
happen?
I've bet on them
Hmm.
to cover, and then they didn't. And then I said, all right, I know Louisville's gonna beat them. Bet Louisville to win. That didn't happen. And then I think one more time I bet them
You did
to
the did he do the
to
Duke game with me?
the Duke game. I did Miami cover Duke. That didn't happen.
You mean Duke cover
Uh,
Miami?
yeah.
Hmm.
And then this week, I've been on Georgia Tech, from the beginning this year. I have liked Georgia Tech with Haynes King, but
Yep.
you know,
Hmm.
it's almost bad on Miami too, because Georgia Tech was on their like fourth string running back.
Mhm.
Like all their running backs are hurt, and like they had a walk on guy who got hurt like late in the game too, and they just kept bringing in guys, and they were just kept getting first downs.
They were schemed.
Yeah,
It wasn't
yeah,
like it was like they're running over people. I mean, it
yeah.
took any skill. This was
It was
schemed
straight schemed up.
to
Yeah.
perfection.
Hmm.
The somebody went in that film room and said that those Miami defensive ends don't keep contained, and
Hmm.
they
I mean, they hit
absolutely.
that jet sweep over and over, and then they would
But
just,
and
off the jet sweep.
I actually think because you were right, they have been good at stopping the run, but I guess and you were saying they hadn't played anybody that could really run it. But I think that's first team that's tried to attack them outside instead of just running
Yeah.
gaps.
Yeah, that stat that I talked about earlier, top 25 in rushing defense, that stat was just that because they haven't played a rushing team. They haven't played a team that really goes after and tries to do it. So that stat was just not a good stat by. I mean, I understand that you have to put it there because they were that, but it wasn't really truly like revealing of what their defense is like because their defense has struggled the whole year passing, and I mean, it's not really a surprise that their defense let someone run on them like that. I don't think.
You almost don't want to when you play Miami score fast. That's what happened to Louisville. It's like
Mhm.
Miami wants you to go ahead and score if you're going to score because they can get more possessions out of it Like
Mhm.
you don't want to get into a shootout. You just don't get into a shootout. And they're the best. They're one of the best offenses in college football. Nobody's arguing that. So
Yeah.
if you're gonna beat them, it's gonna look more like that 28-23 than it's gonna be 55-49.
Mhm. All right, Taylor, we'll go to you for your takeaways.
I'll talk about Indiana real quick. Congrats to them if they've got free money game this week against Ohio State.
What's next week?
Or, I'm sorry, next week they have a bye, and then they have a bye this week, I believe, right?
Yes, Indiana has a bye.
Yeah. After that, if they pull that off, then I mean that's just they're going to play for the Big Ten championship. But even if they don't, if you look at the rest of their schedule, I believe they play. I know they play Purdue at the end, who is god
I
awful.
mean, they're 10-0. They're probably a lock unless they
They have to lose twice. And actually, you know what? They only play twice. They have to lose both their last 2 games. They have to lose to Ohio State and lose to Purdue.
unless they count off for the Big Ten championship game, which they
They
said they're not going to.
as long as you're inside the top 12 going into it, they don't. This is what that's going to
They
be.
say that. I think that's relative.
I don't think. I think ideally, actually, for Indiana would be to lose Ohio State and not go to the Big Ten championship.
Yeah, then they're a lock.
11-1. But yeah, they only have Ohio State and Purdue left. That Purdue's at Indiana, so you don't even have like the element of rivalry game on the road. Yeah, I mean they're in. I don't know if y'all have anything to add.
Indiana snuck by. They snuck by. Michigan gave them a game.
They
Michigan
look
is horrible.
well. Indiana was scared.
Their coach is horrible. There was at one point where the coach at the end of the game, I mean, it was pretty much over, but he could have called a timeout, but he didn't call a timeout, like to stop the clock without, I don't remember how much time was left. But
It was 50 seconds.
And then he let it run like halfway. And then he was like, whoops, let me call a timeout real quick.
I think he thought the game was over.
I mean, it most likely was.
That's not on him. That's actually not on him. You have guys. No, you have guys you pay to tell you when to call a timeout.
If you're a head coach, you should recognize there's 50 seconds left. I have a timeout and I can possibly get the ball back to win. That is on him, Taylor. I don't want to sit here and have someone tell me that someone is responsible for telling the head coach that he needs to call a timeout. If
the head coach ain't going to sit there and do math in his head.
He should.
I have one timeout. 50 seconds left. I get ball back.
That's too complex.
I'm telling you, they have analysts that sit up there and tell them that stuff.
I don't need an analyst to
Taylor,
analyze.
not everybody's head coach is retarded like yours.
So Nick Saban's retarded?
Is your coach Nick Saban?
No.
Okay,
but I'm just saying, like, he had them. Every good coach has had them. I don't understand
You
this
understand
point.
what I'm saying? Like, he should know to do that. He doesn't need someone to tell him to do that.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, thank you.
Now, one more thing on Indiana. They did not look good this week, but you could also tell that they knew that they were basically playing a playoff game. They were like, oh, shit. I mean, and they also, this might be like the Ole Miss thing where they were like, well, Michigan's not going to score 20 points on us. So,
yeah, I mean, probably looking ahead, they got the win. That's all they need to do. They have a bye. It's going to be exciting to see what Cignetti can cook up for against Ohio State. That's going to be really cool. That'll be a great game. If they come out looking like they did against Michigan, Ohio State's going to put them into the dirt, though. I will say that. But I don't think Cignetti will let that happen. Do you have anything to add to this, Max? I mean, I think we – nah.
Nah, I mean, Michigan still doesn't have a terrible defense. I mean, it's not like –
No, they have a good defense still.
You know, I mean, they're not a great team, but their defense is pretty good. Like, so, you know. They got the dub. That's what matters, you know.
Yeah. They as long as they do need to try not to go get blown out next weekend.
Yeah, exactly. They got to keep it close.
Yeah, don't go get blown out because then there is if you go get beat 60-7 or something like that.
It's a really bad.
If you get beat 45-0, you know, it's you might probably not getting in.
I'm not saying you got to lose by a field goal. I mean, you can lose by 10 or 17.
Yeah.
But look good during the game is what I'm saying.
All right, Taylor, I know you got BYU up next, so go ahead and tell me how that went down.
Well, do you want to ask the Utah athletic director who went out and was basically like, we shouldn't be in the Big 12 because
he's a dork. Someone just
I didn't see what happened.
Well, it was a holding call at the end, a defensive holding call, and it was kind of.
It was close. Yeah, it was kind of holding. Yeah, he was holding.
I mean, to the point, it wasn't like this one. It wasn't where you get to go and be like, we got robbed, which is what their coach did.
It wasn't that at all.
He
was on them fucking tight. It was like, you know, he was. And the thing is, there was no camera angle to really get in and see. Like I
That's what I'm
heard
saying.
Joel Klatt describing it. He was like, "This game wasn't a big game," so he's like, "Usually they have like 12 to 16 camera angles." He's like, "They only have 4 to 8 camera angles for this game, so they couldn't get a good angle to see."
Yeah. So, but my point is we could sit here and debate it, and maybe somebody has like supervision. They go, "Oh, look, he actually didn't." But it's not like they intentionally caught. I mean, like it was close enough to
Yeah,
you
it was
be
close.
what Utah was up 21-10 in that game, and they threw a pick, which led to a BYU touchdown. I mean, it was their fault. Like you can't be up 11 and put yourself in a spot for the referee to make that call, because a lot of times the number 3 team in the country can get the benefit of the doubt on that. I mean, surprise. But anyways, all I got to say to that is that was really me clowning Utah. But I'll let Alex go here. But I'm just BYU survived.
BYU's
They're
not good. They're not. They're
they're
not a
keeping
good
their
team.
at-large hopes alive, though.
I mean,
If they can make it to the title game with 0 losses, they're in no matter what.
Uh,
yeah.
Yeah, they're
are
not good.
they?
Yes. That's the
Let's
one way Big 12. That's the one way a Big 12 or ACC was going to get 2 in anyways, in my thought. I mean, we'll get into it in a second, but I think it's perfectly set up for 5 SEC, 4 Big 10, ACC, Big 12, and Boise State.
they play. Excuse me. They play Kansas, and Kansas actually just beat Iowa State, but they play Arizona State at Arizona State, and I think that'll be a loss for them.
Oh, I mean,
BYU.
if they lose, yeah, if they lose, I'm
I
saying if they
hope.
got there undefeated.
Yeah, I hope they lose. The Big 12's not good. I'd prefer to see Colorado in there. They were looking really like
Yeah.
much better, and they're a fun team in there as opposed to BYU. They call their quarterback the BY Jew, which is pretty funny. So that'd be a cool
Hmm.
thing to talk about. But
Did you
I mean,
see?
I what was that
Did you see Deion Sanders Jr. push the referee or push the
The
Texas
ball
Tech
boy.
the ball boy for grabbing the ball from Shiloh? Is it Shiloh?
good? I also saw that the people were throwing stuff at Colorado,
Hmm.
and Dion came up to the ref and said, "Hey, they're throwing stuff at our players." And then the ref was like, "Well, your players are blowing kisses at them during the game." Like, bro, one thing you're allowed to do that. You're allowed. I mean, you can blow kisses in the stands, but you can't allow the fans to throw stuff at the other team. That's just crazy. That was the ref's response.
Well,
If I
if
was
the ref
Dion right there, I would be like I would go off. Like that's just insane.
he told him get the fuck out of here,
Yeah.
basically. What if you're then I would look at the ref and go, well, then call us for unsportsmanlike conduct and it won't happen again.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna say, you're the one that enforces that, weirdo.
Yeah. But anyways, BYU's not a good team. They're gonna lose. Only one team will make it in the Big 12. I hope it's Colorado. I think that'd be
Mm.
the most fun to watch. The offense. They'll probably lose first round. Max,
Colorado at Ole Miss.
it could be. Max, we'll go ahead and go to you. I know you got the Bama game. Tell us what happened.
LSU, they, I don't know what's wrong with them. I mean, Alabama played a great game. Don't get me wrong. I'm really more impressed with the defense. The defense showed up and played. They gave up a few plays here and there, but when they got in the red zone, they didn't let them score. They held them to field goals in the first half, and they played well all game. Jalen ran all over them. He found holes all, and really they would. DeBoer is so good at finding numbers in the run game, and creating numbers by shifts and movements and stuff like that. Um, Passing, we didn't really have to pass it too much.
Nope.
Jalen missed Ryan Williams on a touchdown, and then Ryan Williams dropped a touchdown. So,
Yep.
Well, it's pouring down rain.
it was pouring down rain, so we gave him when Jalen runs for 4 touchdowns, you don't think about that. Yeah, but it's crazy thing is, like I said, a lot of people are thinking LSU's done and they're
Tackle
out.
him
I have a
down.
weird LSU can still make the SEC. It's very possible. Like I've
Yeah.
done the calculations, I've seen it. I've seen it with my own eyes. What if LSU goes to the SEC championship and beats Texas
Well, then LSU's in. The conference
with
champions
three?
automatic in.
I know that's what I'm saying. A lot of people are
Well,
saying LSU's done, playoffs done. I'm just thinking,
a lot of
not
stuff would have to.
really,
A lot of stuff would have to happen for them.
That's gonna
not
get
really.
weird. And you know what? This is the SEC's fault. You have 16 fucking teams, and you're scheduling 8 8-game conference schedule. It balance the schedules out better because Texas literally has fucking played no one except for Georgia.
All LSU needs is for Arkansas to beat Missouri the last game of the year.
And win
To make
out. Well,
And
they have to beat Vandy though.
they
They do
have to
play
win
Vandy.
out. They have to
They
win
do
to
out.
make the SEC championship.
Yeah,
Yes.
they have 2
We're over them
losses.
though. We're over them.
No.
We have
if
head to head now.
but head
No,
only
Alex, I'm
matters.
telling you. I'm telling you. I typed. There was a whole thing that you type in. And
You did the
you can-
Reddit thing that they talked about.
No,
The
it was on
predictor,
Twitter, but it
the
was
calculator.
the calculator, and it's I did it every which other way, but it doesn't matter which way. At the end of the year, if Arkansas beats Missouri, or it's either Missouri beats either one, I can't remember which way it is. I think it's Arkansas beats
Well,
Missouri.
you
Then,
also need Tennessee to lose again too, because Tennessee only
but
has
yeah,
one SEC
this is
loss.
all calculating in that Tennessee's losing to Georgia.
What
If
he's talking
if
about is
Tennessee doesn't lose to Georgia, then Tennessee's in.
what he's talking about is Alex is there's 2 possibilities. There's a possibility for up to an 8-way tie for the championship where everybody would have 2 losses. So head to head doesn't matter because you can't play the head to head game because LSU will go, well,
Because everybody beat everybody.
everybody beat everybody. So there's a bunch of different like metrics that they're going to use, and it comes down
It goes opponent
best win,
schedule win percentage or something like that.
and then you have
yeah.
the highest win, but you all have to play them. Like Georgia can't use Texas because against Alabama or LSU because they didn't play Texas, so Georgia would have to use. I think at that point it'd be Tennessee if they beat Tennessee.
Yeah. I really don't know
So
how it does, but I know it's some bullshit like that. But this guy posted a calculator where you could from the last 3 weeks you can switch and swap which games who beats who, and it will tell you who goes to who's
I
first,
actually
who's second.
believe if the game controls one of the metrics, but I actually believe there is a scenario if the 8-way finished, if there was an 8-way tie and Texas like made assuming Texas Tennessee lost, I think LSU Alabama would be a high possibility for the SEC championship game.
Well, that'd be okay with me.
Yeah, I didn't calculate if Texas lost. Well, no, because if Texas lost, then Texas A&M's in.
That Texas A&M Texas game is a de facto. If they both get there with the same records they have now, which they should. It is. It's for the SEC.
Whoever wins that game goes. So it's gonna be.
They win the SEC regular
and
season
that's the
title.
thing I'm worried about. What I've calculated, it's either gonna. Now I have to root for Tennessee to beat Georgia because Alex, if they don't,
all hell's.
There's a strong possibility we have to play Texas in the SEC championship game.
That was the 7-way
and that's
tie.
what I was saying. I don't want to go to the SEC championship
I don't
game.
want. It sucks. I sound like a bitch, but
hey,
God, I don't want to go.
If Missouri upsets South Carolina and they beat Arkansas, they have 2 losses. But their record would be the same in the league. They won't make the playoff unless they get to Atlanta. But they only have 2 conference losses.
I think we need Missouri to beat Arkansas because we need Missouri to have a better winning percentage because we beat Missouri.
Ironically, you want Tennessee to win out.
But yeah, we want Tennessee to win so they go ahead and go.
I mean,
play
that knocks Georgia.
and
that knocks Georgia out.
And that knocks Georgia out of the playoff. So
because Tennessee has Georgia and then Vandy.
Okay,
so,
we got to get off this. We've been on this for a long time.
Well, we're about to get into them again in a second. Basically, what comes down to playoff.
Yeah, so let's shut up. Yeah, a lot of weird stuff can go on. We'll talk about it more in just a second. We'll go ahead and just go into Heisman update. Travis Hunter is the favorite now, plus 125. Dylan Gabriel plus 325. Ashton Jeanty plus 350. Cam Ward plus 800. Portis Rourke for Indiana plus 1400. Jalen Milroe moved up a little bit, plus 1,800. Then Jackson Dart, plus 2,000. I want to go ahead and say, we talked about this last week. Jackson Dart was not the reason they won the game. So that's why he didn't move up, I don't think. Because, obviously they won, but he's not the reason.
They won the game because of the defensive line.
Yeah, but if they would have won the game because of Dart, then he would have gone up tremendously.
Yeah.
But, my favorite, Travis Hunter, he had a really good game against Texas Tech. Got another touchdown. I think he had like 100 yards or 90-something yards receiving. 99. Dylan Gabriel, I still say, watch out for him. Best player, best team, kind of classic. He's having a good season. Do y'all have anything to add?
I think it's shaping up for Travis Hunter to win it.
Yeah.
Just because Jeanty's not. Yeah, Cam Ward losing, and Jeanty is just really good. He's just having a really, really good season. Not like a
I would like to see his stats compared to Barry Sanders again, like what they're stacking up.
I think he's off pace now because he was
Yeah.
on pace, but I think he's off
He
pace.
just had 200 something rushing yards, so
Man, if I'm Boise State, I hope I don't get Ole Miss in the playoffs.
that'd be awful for them. Curtis Rourke for Indiana, I think he's there just because their team's good. He didn't have a good game last week, so
If they beat Ohio State and he goes off,
yeah, but I think it's kind of late for a new guy to kind of pop up and win it. I know this year we don't really have that dominant player, which is weird. I mean, we don't have that guy that's like clear cut favorite. There's a lot of players who are kind of in it.
it's partly because Travis Hunter plays two positions, so he can only like build his stats up so much.
Well, you think he'd be able to build him up a lot because he plays two positions.
He's been hurt some too.
Yeah,
so that's hurting him. Colorado if they win this week, I believe they're in the Big 12 title game. They're officially in if they win this week.
Utah.
Yeah,
they play Utah, and then they play someone else.
Is it Arizona?
No, they beat Arizona.
Oh, they play is it? Oh my gosh. I'll look it up. Keep going, Alex.
I mean, Max, do you have anything? I mean, do you have anybody that you think that's more deserving or that you'd watch out for? Maybe, I mean, or you think is
maybe Jalen Milroe. I think you know, not likely, but if he, the last, next week against Mercer doesn't count. It doesn't matter what he does. But if he goes to Oklahoma and versus Auburn at home, and and balls out like he did against LSU, I think, it's possible he gets the invite. I don't think he'll win it, but possible he gets the invite.
They play at Kansas and they host Oklahoma State.
Okay, I think that's pretty
It's
doable.
just with Travis, it's just that he plays both ways, so it's hard to kind of like, unless you have crazy numbers, Travis is gonna win because he plays both ways.
Yeah, it's not like they're gonna combine.
Yeah.
They don't. You don't combine them into one big number because it's two different positions. It's not like he's a receiver and a running back, and they go total. All total yards. He's got like 5,000 or something like that.
Yeah. All right.
He played like 170 snaps.
That is insane. Yeah.
He should win it just off that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's definitely got the dog in him for sure, and I mean, and he has that mentality that you have to like in a player, like really going for everything. There you go, Cooper Kupp. But okay, let's go ahead and talk about the playoffs. What I was gonna say is, first, we collectively make our 12 team. It'll come out tomorrow, the college football. Let's make our own 12 team together. And then we'll talk about the SEC stuff that could happen because that's just a whole thing. All right. Collectively, Oregon's first, correct?
Yeah, I agree with Oregon.
Oregon, Texas?
Yeah, sure.
Oregon, Texas.
Well, no.
It really doesn't matter.
I think it should be Tennessee.
Tennessee's actually in first place technically right now in the SEC.
Yeah, and because they have a better win than Texas.
We can go Tennessee. That's fine. Oregon, Tennessee.
BYU.
BYU. Number 4, Miami still?
Well, okay. So if y'all want to be official on it,
technically SMU doesn't have an ACC loss. Yes, so it would be SMU, right?
But we don't have to put SMU if you don't want to. I mean, I'm just saying.
I don't want them in there. I still put Miami at 4. Okay. I still think they'll win out.
Okay.
And I think they'll beat SMU. So is that okay with y'all? Unless y'all want to put
SMU? That's fine. I don't care.
Fine.
Miami's fine.
All right, 5.
Ohio State.
Ohio State. Okay. Now
this
6.
This is where we're gonna disagree. I put Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. They won at home. I would put.
You can put Ole Miss. Yeah, I would put Ole Miss.
We can go Ole Miss.
Because Bama and Ole Miss both have a win against Georgia, but Ole Miss's win is better.
We have more good wins.
But we have a few extra better wins.
Our loss isn't as bad as well.
Yeah.
They have a terrible loss.
Kentucky at home. It's horrible.
Yeah. So do we. Oh, I guess Vandy's not that bad.
They're right.
No, Vandy's gonna go 7-5. It's not gonna be.
I was gonna say Bama, but I mean I'm okay with Ole Miss.
So
I
don't care.
I'd say Bama 7. They don't matter. And then Penn State after that.
I'd put Indiana over Penn State.
True. Well, Yeah, I guess right now you have to.
So
So
Bama
Bama
7.
7, Indiana 8.
It's really going to depend on how much Indiana loses to Ohio State by.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I guess we're trying to predict. We're more predicting what they're going to put out
Okay.
Yeah,
this week. So
Notre Dame 9.
yeah.
yes, and then this is where it gets weird because we still hadn't said Texas.
Nope.
Oh shit, we haven't, have we?
So
We
that
gotta
would be
go Texas way before then.
okay. Let's put Texas 9 and
And,
Notre Dame 10.
hey, Notre Dame at Indiana in the playoffs would be fucking awesome.
That would
Yeah.
be lit.
Yeah, do we still haven't put Texas?
Go ahead, put Texas 9.
All right, I got Texas at 9.
Notre Dame
Notre
10.
Dame 10.
Okay, all right. So
We don't have
Boise State. Let's go ahead and say Boise State's 12.
now. Is it Georgia?
It had.
Georgia. It
I
has to
don't.
be.
Oh, okay. So hold on a second. Who are we leaving out right now? A&M.
Yeah.
A&M.
Yep.
So it's down to between A&M and Georgia. Who has a better
Yeah,
win right now? Who has a better win
Georgia.
right?
Georgia.
Yeah,
I
Georgia
mean,
beat
Georgia at
Texas.
Texas.
definitely.
Unless you're counting A&M to beat
To
Texas.
be honest with you, we're not going to go back and do it, but I think we probably should put Georgia instead of Texas at 9, and then Texas 10, and then
You just
Texas. I mean,
you want Texas at 11 because
Texas
Notre
is
Dame's at 10.
Well, if the playoff committee did it like this, they'd probably put Texas 11, so they didn't do an Ole Miss Georgia rematch. So, but I don't care. We'll just put Georgia at 11.
Okay, and then 12 Boise State.
Boise State. Hey, interesting scenario. Say SMU did win it, would Boise State have a chance to get a top? Like, could you argue Boise State should get the number 4 seed instead of SMU?
That and also if Colorado wins it, I think that can happen again because it's not saying
Yeah,
it says the top 4 of the Power 5 in the rankings that won the conference
it's
go
just the
that
4
way.
highest. It's not even Power
Yeah,
4. It's
it's
the
not
4 highest conference champions.
the Power. Yeah, so the Power 5 team doesn't have to be the 12th ranked team.
Yep. 5 conference champions get in. The 4 highest get a bye, and then the 5th is guaranteed in.
So I mean, if Colorado or SMU to win it, I think Boise State would be the 4, and then they'd be the 12, and that would lead like a Ohio State versus Colorado first round, which would be fun.
If you're Boise State, you're pulling so hard for Colorado and SMU. Yeah.
Mhm.
So we have Oregon, Tennessee, BYU, Miami, Ohio State 5, Ole Miss 6, Bama 7, Indiana 8, Texas 9, Notre Dame 10, Georgia 11, and Boise State 12 right now.
Name off the so it'd be Ohio State versus Boise.
Ohio State versus Boise State, Ole Miss versus Georgia in a rematch, Bama versus Notre Dame at Bama, and Texas at Indiana.
Notre Dame at Bama.
I would love
that would be
Notre
so
Dame.
awesome.
Yeah, that'd be a matchup.
Good luck getting tickets to that.
Already bought them. Okay, so now let's kind of talk about a little bit more of the SEC stuff that could possibly happen. So, I know we kind of went over it beforehand. We'll kind of just go a little bit more with it. But what happens if Tennessee loses to Georgia, and then Texas loses to Texas A&M later in the year?
There's 6 2-loss teams.
Yes.
Only 5. Max.
And you know what? Missouri wins. Missouri beats South Carolina.
Well,
so
that Missouri's not making it. That's fine. But I'm just saying, Missouri and LSU both need the
Eli
SEC.
Jankowicz thinks they are.
Yeah, he's a nerd. He's a good football coach, but he's just a nerd. Like,
who do we leave out? Who gets left out?
If Texas loses to Texas A&M, it's Texas. Because I'm gonna assume the SEC is gonna get in. I'm gonna say the SEC is getting 5 in. And then I think that's how we have it right now. I think we have that. I didn't think about Notre Dame. You can only get 4 in then, right?
Notre Dame wins out. They're in. You better be rooting for Army.
So Notre Dame, Boise State. So you have to have 8. So right now, only 4 SEC, unless you only put 3 Big Ten teams in. Like you don't put Penn State in at 11-1. Like that's where it's going to come down to like say Penn State, Indiana 11-1 versus a 10-2 Texas and a 10-2 Georgia, who gets in. Like that's your. Now, if they go out and say they're going to put 4 Big Ten teams in, if you tell me they put 4 Big Ten in just for fun, so we can only put 4 SEC in, who are the 2 SEC teams that get left out at 6 losses?
I think you just said Texas. They don't have it. They would not have a good win. Their
One more
best.
get one more's getting left out too.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, Texas. Their best win would be at Vandy. I mean, that's a good win, but like that being your best win is horrible.
It would
Also,
be. Go ahead.
I was gonna say.
Well, Georgia beats Tennessee, then you can't. This is where it gets bad. Are you
I
going to leave
think
Tennessee out and put Alabama in and then Tennessee? And I think I would agree with that, but I'm going to say Tennessee fans are going to go, we beat Alabama. How are we not in? Tennessee and Georgia and Texas.
They
Somebody,
could.
two
Yeah,
of
because
those
y'all
three are
lost to
getting left
Arkansas.
out. Yes.
Taylor, you're gonna hate this. Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss shouldn't make it. They would have the worst loss of the bunch. Losing to Kentucky at home is horrible.
I
Our
agree.
losses at Vandy, I mean, not a good loss no matter what, but they're a good team. And then at number 6, Tennessee, we all lost. Both those games were by 1 possession. Ole Miss got dominated by Kentucky. Kentucky
That
was their dad that game.
the important thing in this scenario is who makes and we don't have time for this, but if a 6-way tie, A&M would be one of the teams in the SEC championship game.
Yep.
And the other, I think God knows it might. There is what if it's Ole Miss? Then they're in.
Well, yeah.
Just off the
but listen to this.
tiebreaker.
So A&M beats Texas, but they rank A&M like 12th. They rank A&M like 12th in the country after beating Texas. I think they would have to win the SEC to make it. I think they still would. They could get knocked out because it'd be like a 12 or 11, and they could, if they lose, they'd get knocked out.
Yes, if you're in that margin of getting left out.
Yeah,
yes.
A&M's best wins LSU, so
not good.
Well, it would be Texas if in this.
It would be Texas.
I guess
it would be Texas in this. I'm telling you, Georgia looks worse than Ole Miss.
Yeah,
they do right now. So
they need. Of course, and I said they got to beat Tennessee but of course they have to beat Tennessee. If they lose, listen, this Tennessee Georgia game. It's kind of dumb for us to do this math right now because if Tennessee goes and beats Georgia, then it's going to all work itself out.
Yeah.
So I mean, but yeah, there's going to be an SEC. There's a good chance there's a 10-2 SEC team that gets left out, and they're going to be upset because all they was told all offseason is if you get the 10 wins, you're in.
Mm-hmm.
But shout out to the conference for their uneven schedules, and you get rid of divisions, and if you're going to get rid of divisions, you got to have a 9th conference game. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yep.
Because if you have a 9th conference game, Ole Miss probably plays Alabama. Tennessee probably plays Texas. So this stuff would work itself out. Anyways, I mean, we could talk about that all night, but like I said, it's kind of dumb too when Tennessee, Georgia needs to happen. So
hopefully everything figures itself out. But if it doesn't, then get ready for a lot of people to be upset, specifically the SEC. But that's the one thing I said. I said the SEC is going to eat each other this year. We're gonna be our biggest reason if we don't get more teams because we're beating each other. Mm-hmm. So, all right, well, let's go into our picks. We kind of got to. We're
at 40 minutes right now.
Yeah. Texas at Arkansas. Texas is 6.5 point favorites. The total is 57.5 money line. I'm not going to take Texas or Arkansas. I'm going to take the over for this game. Over 57.5. Both really good offenses. I like that a lot. That's my pick. Max, what do you think?
What was the spread again?
16.5
for Texas.
Give me Texas cover.
They did just beat Florida, and Arkansas are kind of I think they're in the same area of teams. Taylor?
I almost did the over too. I actually had it. I'm not taking it, but I did have it written down, so I swiped it out. But I actually, you know what? If you'd have given me this line a couple of weeks ago, but after watching Ole Miss go to Arkansas and beat the shit out of them, I think Texas is kind of gonna do the same thing. Arkansas looks like they're out of gas, so I think Texas covers.
Watch out! Honey, watch out!
What was the over so I can write it down?
57.5. I'm just saying, watch out. Arkansas already did it to Tennessee at home. So,
yeah.
Next up, Utah at Colorado. Colorado is a 10-point favorite. Max, tell me what you think.
I got Colorado cover. That's it. They have a better offense. Utah's offense is ass McGee.
Just ass McGee, not fuckhead McGee.
No, it's ass McGee. And then Colorado likes to clap ass McGee's. So
I
Yeah,
think
Colorado.
I agree with Max. Deion Sanders Jr. behind the camera is gonna have a big game.
I also have Colorado for this game covering the 10 points.
This
Little
disclaimer, I do pick the games out, guys, and it was hard to find 10 games. Like we put Bama Mercer in here just to laugh and about the line, and same thing with Auburn. Well, actually, maybe not, but and I actually threw an Alabama basketball game in there just because like we literally don't have. So yeah,
I would say watch out for the Utah Colorado game. I think Colorado's going to win, but I think Utah could do a sneaky cover. But at the same time, their offense is horrible. It's at Colorado. If it was at Utah, I'd be more concerned. So give me
Mhm.
Colorado to cover the 10 points. They've been looking really good. I hope that they are the Big 12 team so much. That makes
you
everything a lot more fun.
you also just don't recover. You lose to your biggest rival like they did.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna where's the motivation?
Yeah. Taylor, Louisiana Monroe at Auburn. Me and you will be at that game. Auburn is a 24.5 point favorite.
I think
What is
Auburn
the over under for beers drank for tomorrow? Saturday, excuse me.
at the game
Yeah,
or before the game
let's go.
total.
Yeah, total, just total.
Just for me or me and you combined?
You
We're just going to set it at 14 and a half.
14.5. Okay, so if Auburn loses, then that is going to be an over for sure.
Be careful, though. If Auburn loses, I might get into liquor really fast.
That'd be dangerous. I have Auburn not covering the 24.5.
Fuck you. You're not coming.
I bought my own tickets. You're gonna take my tickets away from me.
I know it. I know people up there. I've already told them. I told them you're. Never mind. I was going to get canceled.
Auburn's going to win, but Louisiana Monroe is a sneaky good team. General Booty out there is gonna really.
They benched him.
Did they? Oh,
I think so.
dang. I still think that Auburn's just offense isn't good enough to cover 24.5. Sorry. Taylor, what do you have?
I compare this to New Mexico earlier in the year. It's about the same. I think it's actually a little less, but I think Auburn won 49 to like 13 or something like that.
Okay.
Jarquez Hunter, it's close to 1,000 yards. He's like 87 yards away. I bet. Peyton Thorne's shoulder, he didn't practice all last week. I mean, shout out to Hugh leaving Peyton Thorne in with he already sucks, and then you leave him in with an injured throwing shoulder. So I think we're going to run the ball a lot. Every time we run the ball a lot, our defense is actually really good. I don't know if they're going to score that much on us. I'm not saying we're going to score 50, but I could see us winning like 31-6, 31-7. I'm going to take the cover just because Alex took the other one, and we'll fight at the game. We'll record it and put it on here.
Mm-hmm. Max?
I'll take Auburn cover.
Every time I've picked Auburn this year, they've done the opposite. So I think that's smart of y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Mercer at Alabama. Mercer is currently 7 or 8-1. They're ranked in the whatever the division is below us.
Mercer money line.
Alabama 28.5 point favorites. There was a couple that are 30.5 point favorites. If you can find that 30.5 point favorite, take it. Give me Alabama to cover 28.5. I'll change one of my picks because I did have Mercer covering, but give me Alabama. I hope we can do it. We should. We played really good. I could see Mercer covering 28.5. I mean, but who really cares? Alabama covers. Max.
Alabama covers.
This is a stupid line. Are you sure this isn't a first half line?
I mean, I don't think so.
I would take this all the way up to like 50. I'm dead serious.
It's full game. It's full game.
Okay, I was about to say, I expected.
First half line is Bama minus 17.5.
Okay, I like that too. Yeah, this isn't close. Like it's like 56-7, 63-7.
We're not betting first half and second half lines.
That's fine. I'm just saying
that is delinquent level.
This is free money, I think. Yeah, 28.5. I've never seen an FCS game with Alabama this low. It's always like 45.
Mercer's a good.
Mercer must be a good team.
I know,
they are a good team.
I understand that. But I've seen y'all play ranked FCS teams before. It's
hey,
not like
their only losses against Furman. No, not Furman. It's what's the team
Faulkner?
up in? No, it's up in Birmingham.
UAV?
No.
Birmingham Southern? Sanford.
Sanford. Their only loss against Sanford.
Birmingham Southern doesn't exist anymore.
That's right.
RIP. Yeah, they got beat by Samford 55-30.
See, this is what I'm
I
telling.
think we're
This is
gonna
what
win.
this is what I'm telling you. This is what I'm telling you. You're not. You could probably win 80-7, but it might be 42-7 at halftime. 42-0. I'm just
Hopefully.
telling.
Hopefully. All right, we'll get into the next game. Everybody has Alabama covering, correct?
Alabama, will you shave? I mean, Alex, will you shave your head if Alabama loses to Mercer outright?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, cool,
I shaved my balls.
cool. On air,
On
we'll get a small camera.
YouTube Live. Get ready.
YouTube live.
LSU at Florida. LSU 4.5 point favorites. Total 55.5. Taylor, I'll let you take the lead on this one.
What was the over under 52.5?
55.5.
I'm gonna take LSU just to cover. Bounce back. Florida sucks. They've kind of given up.
Okay, Max.
I don't really have much to add on that.
I think DJ Lagway might be coming back in this game.
He is. I think that's the plan. I think. Well, actually, it's
What
either.
time is this game at?
I don't know.
If it's a night game,
I don't believe it's a night game. Everybody knows LSU only has to play night games at home.
Florida ML?
Are you gonna? You mean to tell you what time it is before you pick it?
Tell me the time.
Because that does. I mean, I
After watching LSU last week, they looked horrible.
Did you watch?
I saw all the fans rush the parking lot.
It is 2:30 ABC.
Not bad.
Not bad at all, Max.
Florida money line's what, plus 165?
Plus 170.
Mm-hmm.
Give me Florida cover. I'll take Florida cover against LSU. Lagway coming back. If he comes back, I'll like it. If he does not come back, give me an LSU cover.
I think they might save him for Ole Miss.
True.
Give me LSU cover. So they bounce back.
Okay. All right, Max, to you first on this one. Missouri at South Carolina. South Carolina, 13.5 point favorites. Total 44.5. You called the South Carolina Vandy game last week. South Carolina is kind of on a roll now. They beat two.
South Carolina's heating up.
Yeah, two ranked teams in a row. If they beat Missouri, it'd be three.
Think they're going to beat Missouri. They're going to cover against Missouri.
Missouri should have lost to Oklahoma.
Yeah, I don't care if Brady Cook plays or not. I think he's still South Carolina.
That South Carolina defense is
they have a legit defense.
It's nothing line. They're crazy.
Then Lenore Sellers has gotten better. Lenore Sellers has been playing a lot better. He's dual threat. He's been running well, making throws here and there, and that's been the difference. Is their offense, and Rocket Sanders has been getting going. So
I'm on the boat with you. Team. South Carolina covers. Like Taylor said, they should have lost to Oklahoma. I don't know if y'all saw the end of that game, how they won it, but if you haven't, go look it up on YouTube. Yeah.
The scoopings, Oklahoma fumbled and they ran it. There was like 2
scooping scores like the last 4 minutes.
Yeah. Yep. That game was like 9-3 at halftime, and the final score was 30-23.
Yeah, it was just you did not want to watch the beginning. You wanted to turn that game on. About 5 minutes left.
Yeah. I didn't turn it on at all though.
Yeah.
I watched the highlights.
Yep. All right, Taylor, I'll let you have this one. Oregon at Wisconsin. Oregon minus 14.5. Total 52.5. Little sneak right here.
I actually think
Camp Randall. Little sneaky.
Camp Randall. It's a night game, right?
Yeah. A little sneaky.
Oh my gosh!
I don't think I've
picked it.
Goals. Come on.
I don't think I've picked against Oregon all year, so I'm just gonna keep riding with Oregon. It's 14.5, right?
Yep, 14.5.
I'm just gonna keep riding with them.
Let me make sure that is a night game, because if that's a night game, then that's actually important. Camp Randall can be a little rocking. So you're having Oregon cover no matter what?
Yeah. I think it is. I think it's the Peacock game, I think.
Ooh, yep. Oh, did it just give me what time it is right now in Oregon? 7:30. 6:30.
6:30. Yeah, I like Oregon. That's only 4:30 back home in Oregon, so they're good.
I don't care. Night game. I wonder what the temperature is. It's probably not too cold
yet. The thing is Oregon is just going to
run the ball
and Yeah, no.
Wisconsin covers.
It's gonna look like the Alabama game.
Wisconsin covers 14.5.
Max.
Oregon's been playing too good recently.
No, Oregon covers. They beat the shit out of Wisconsin. Wisconsin sucks.
I think you're making a mistake on this one, but maybe I shouldn't have said that.
I think you're making a mistake. I'm beating you in these picks.
Catching up, bitch boy.
All right, Kansas at BYU. BYU minus 3.5. Max, you have anything? I mean, BYU played a close game against Utah. Kansas just had a big win at Iowa State. No, excuse me. I think they were at home when they beat Iowa State. But Kansas playing better, or you just got BYU covering?
Kansas is playing better. I would probably take Kansas if it was Kansas at home, but BYU is at home. I'm gonna take BYU. I think they can play a little better. I think they're better than they've been playing.
A lot of close games.
Yeah, a lot of close games. I think when they put it together, they could be pretty good. Not really good, but pretty good. And they can, I think they'll put it together against Kansas and be able to beat them, by a touchdown or two.
A famous person once said, "Bad teams don't lose by a lot; they just lose. Good teams don't win by a lot; they just win." BYU.
I'm gonna.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
Missouri's not good.
I'll take
They
BYU.
They actually in the quotes, and this was written in like the 1800s, said except for 2024 Missouri, so it's covered.
I'll take BYU at 3.5 at home. At home is a big thing for them.
Did we bump it up to 3.5, or was it 3?
It's 3.5.
Okay.
Yeah, I have BYU. Clemson at Pitt. Clemson minus 10. Taylor, I'll let you cover this one first.
Yeah, this game. I mean, Clemson is Pitt's out. I think Clemson's gonna roll. So they're out of the race. So Clemson's gonna roll. I put this in here because Clemson's still technically in the ACC race, very much so, which means they're still in the playoff race.
Mm-hmm.
This is another team, if you're Boise State, that you would be okay with winning the ACC. But I think Boise State would have a shot. Although maybe not Clemson. That might be one where just names say they don't get they'd give Clemson the bye. I don't know. Clemson minus 10.
Max.
Clemson
cover.
Clemson cover. I know Eli Holstein's injured. I don't know if he's supposed to play this week. But give me Clemson minus 10.
I have Clemson minus 10. Pittsburgh really ran out of gas to end this season off, losing Virginia. Virginia's got a decent team, but yeah, that really killed them. Maybe some motivation, or maybe they'll look at this game. Hey, we can be. Well, Clemson's not even that good this year, so give me Clemson minus 10. I think they're just better team overall.
How the hell is Georgia
9.5?
Can we get onto this game? Clemson.
Yeah,
Clemson.
That's up. Tennessee.
How the hell is Georgia 9.5-point favorites against Tennessee?
Back in August, you could have got this for 17.5.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I get it, they're at home, but like, really? You really think Georgia's 10-point favorite? Like, that's insane to me. Tennessee has a better defense than Georgia does. No doubt.
I think we might all agree on what we're going with this.
Yeah.
Give me Tennessee to cover.
Yeah. You give me Tennessee to cover as well.
Me too. I almost but I'm like, I remember Alex saying like, we need to be smarter and stop trying to just be brazen. I almost just said, give me Tennessee fucking money line. But
be smart.
If you're gonna give me, if you're gonna give me 9.5, I'm not gonna give up 9.5.
Yeah.
Key to watch that game is Tennessee defense. I mean, if they can do what Ole Miss did, I don't think the weather's going to be like that again. But I mean, Tennessee's got the defense to do it. They can keep ugly face McGee back in the pocket and let him try to decision make, which apparently he hasn't been able to do good. Partly because the receivers aren't getting open. Partly maybe he's just in his head. I saw a Snapchat that he sent to someone. It was like, please run me over so I don't have to play quarterback for Georgia. I'm like, okay, bro, you're probably living so many people's dream right now, but if you want to be a little baby about it, he is getting bullied online. I apologize for calling him ugly. I'm kind of ugly too, so that's on me.
He's actually ugly.
He still gets bitches. His girlfriend's
Hell yeah, he gets bitches, but doesn't
Yeah.
change the fact that he is ugly.
It makes it better though, probably. I
Ugly
wouldn't
guys
know.
get bitches too. People know this.
That's true.
Damn.
Maybe he has a great personality.
That's all that matters, really.
And
Yeah.
or a Lambo.
Or a lot of NIL money.
Yeah, that
Probably, or he's going to the NFL too, no matter what.
Well,
I don't know. Well,
No,
well.
he'll be a backup. He'll be a backup. Don't lie.
Man, fifth rounder. Cool.
He'll probably, yeah. I don't know. Fifth round. What round were you?
Huh?
What round were you?
I was just first round overall in my NFL fantasy
That's true.
on the Xbox.
That's true.
I'm first round at Wells Printing, dumbass.
Shout out Wells Printing.
Yeah. Shout out.
Can Carson Beck run a saddle stitcher? I think fucking not.
That's true.
No, he probably can't. He'd probably try to stitch his
He
face.
just sit there looking like a hammerhead shark. That's it. He fucking bite somebody.
I've seen all the memes with him with Sid the Sloth, and they're doing him so awful.
Yeah, I love the meme where it's just like a Sports Center picture of him, but it just says ass.
Oh, the breaking Carson Beck
Yeah,
ass.
Everybody, so we're all Tennessee cover.
Yeah.
Tennessee cover. Okay. Last pick up. Sadly, I have to say, Florida State has a bye, guys.
Thank gosh.
If Florida State loses this weekend, I'll
bye.
end my life.
You know the memes are gonna.
Yeah. Unfortunately, bye this week. Won 30-27.
Bye before
Shit. Somebody did it at Auburn. They had Auburn lose 28-24, and they were up 10 going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah. We actually do have one more game though.
It's a basketball game.
It's a basketball game. Alabama at Purdue. What was the line on that one?
So we're gonna do. I used Torvik for these rankings, and actually, in the end, the Auburn Houston line ended up being 4.5. Even though, so they're pretty accurate. So we're gonna give a hook. So he has it at 2. We're gonna do 2.5, and the predicted score he has is 80-78. So we'll do for fun. The over under is probably gonna be around. It just was accurate.
80-78 who?
Purdue. So he has
favored to win.
So we're gonna do 160.5 for the over under. So Bama plus 2.5 is the line. This is at Purdue. Purdue center is out for the season. They're 7-4 center. So I'll just real quick. I'm gonna take Bama to cover. I think Bama has just kind of been bored. They're not shooting good right now, but everybody knows that's gonna change unless your name's Aiden Holloway. Then it will never change. But you loser. Glad we have an actual point guard this year. But yeah, I think Bama's going to cover. I think Bama's going to win, but I'll just do 2.5. Mark Sears will go off. It's a road game, but it's like the first road game, but they have Mark Sears, and Purdue doesn't have Mark Sears. So there's that.
I'll go ahead. I have Bama covering. I've been picking against Bama last week. In football, I'm done doing that. And one thing I will say, last 2 games we haven't looked good, Arkansas State and then tonight against McNeese. Those teams are good teams for like their division, but we did play close to normal. But one thing I'll say is we shot bad from 3 for both of those games, and that's not gonna stay around.
You're due for some positive.
Exactly.
It was still
reinforcement.
Those 2 games, they were still never close. Like they got it within 6 or 4 a couple of times, but as soon as that happened, Bama immediately extended it to like 10 plus. And like, every time Bama would go on a cold streak, not score for a few minutes. They'd come back a little bit, and then Bama would hit a couple threes again, and then or go up a little bit more. But it's still a little bit concerning. Not really though. I'm gonna take Bama to cover too.
Yeah. Bama ride. There you go.
Real quick. So who's best team in the state right now?
Basketball?
Yeah.
Y'all have the better win.
That was fun. That was a stressful game to watch.
It's probably
I like that
Alabama.
Not as stressful as a pilot driving a plane that people are fighting on. But
it was some horseplay.
Horseplay. Yeah.
I think the pilot was racist.
I honestly, that's what I heard too, and I heard that the flight attendant lady was actually picking on our players and trying to say that Aiden Holloway was better, and that actually caused a fight. And I heard that there will be hell to pay for this company, and yeah, um, I mean, I really want to say something. I'll get canceled if I don't, but that why would you fly 20 minutes and then be like, oh, we're worried about security of the plane. We're gonna fly 20 minutes back and park it. Well, shit, if like your plane was gonna get hijacked or taken over, or they were gonna fight into the cockpit, then it would happen in 20 minutes. So that was dumb.
They
I
But
heard
were
what
the fight could have escalated. They could have taken over the plane and hijacked it.
hey,
that's what
we
was happening.
did you see Auburn after they won? Did you see their celebration they did? They ran around and did this. They were doing the plane
Oh
after
my
they
goodness, that's funny.
they leaned into it. I mean, I don't know. Got a good team. If Pettiford can play like that, then you can't double broom. That's a problem. That's what Houston was running into when Pettiford started hitting those threes. Yeah, we
All
have a
right,
good team. Yeah,
let's go ahead get into our sneaks. Taylor, go ahead and tell us your sneak.
that's good. Point. I probably should have written it down instead of just writing it on the doc. But
I can tell it to you if you want me to.
no, I'm about to pick it up. I remember both of them. I just can't remember what was my sneak and what's my lock. So I'm doing Illinois -3 versus Michigan State. I don't really. I did this. I've bet on Illinois a couple times on these sneaks, and they have not been good for me. So I'm going to keep doing it. And
It's the smart thing to do.
well, yeah. I mean, if you keep losing, that's what you do in gambling, right? You're supposed to lose, and you keep losing, right? And then you bet more, and then you start betting your house.
You're just one loss closer to a win, is what I'm
That's what
hearing.
I'm saying. You miss every shot you don't take.
Hmm. I have a JMU covering -4 at Old Dominion. Is my sneak. Max, what's yours?
I got Boston College covering 16.5 at SMU. Boston College, they're a scrappy little team. That I hit a sneaky on them earlier this year when they played Missouri. Or it was either Missouri
It was Vandy.
or
No,
Vandy
no, it
or
was I
Florida
don't know.
State.
I don't know.
One of those three earlier on this year.
They beat
Uh, I,
they beat Florida State. They beat the shit out of Florida State, and they were like a 10-point
yeah,
underdog or something like that.
yeah. But I'm gonna go. I still expect SMU to win, but 16.5 is a lot for a Boston College team that's scrappy. So
Hmm.
All right, Taylor, go to your lock.
My lock of the week: Nebraska is a 9.5-point dog at USC. I think USC doesn't even care about their season right now, and Lincoln Riley's probably still trying to figure out a way to get out of there. And I don't know if the status of Rail or whatever his name is. I remember he got hurt a couple weeks back. I hadn't really followed Nebraska, but I think they covered the 9.5. They'll probably lose, but I think they cover the 9.5. I watched USC. Last time I watched USC was that game where they were up like 10 with like against Maryland or whatever, and they lost with like 4 minutes left and they lost.
All right, Max.
my lock is Colorado covers 10 versus Utah. I just Utah's offense. I can't get behind them. Colorado has a really good offense. Another defense is a little questionable, but they're very good in certain spots. Against Texas Tech, they're down 13 in the first quarter, and then they explode on a 34-7 run. So I just like Colorado's offense a lot more than Utah. So I think Colorado will cover.
And lastly, I have Arizona State covering 9 points versus Kansas State. Arizona State's got a good team, and Kansas State, Avery Johnson's a good QB, but I just feel like Arizona State's going to be able to cover that 9 points, at least keep it close. I'm not saying they're going to win. I just think they'll be able to keep that game close. I do want to say one thing. The NFL podcast did not get posted last week just because I thought I scheduled it to post on Friday, but I scheduled it to post apparently on this Friday. So I apologize for that. We'll we'll do our NFL one for this week, but I don't think I'm gonna post that one just because
We might post it in the archives.
yeah, we might just like let it upload, but it won't be like an official like you'll be waiting for it.
So we're gonna put our sneakies and locks in a parlay.
I'm down.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm down. I'm down.
Send it in the group message, and I'll put the bet in.
It is
How much y'all want to go?
I don't care. Do y'all
10
do y'all
apiece.
do y'all do 10 apiece and we
I'll
can do
do
30?
I'll do 10
Yeah.
bands a piece. Yeah, 10 bands.
10
All
bands a
right,
piece
10
and
bands
30.
apiece. Cool.
10 bands a piece. Yeah. Man, I guess 10. I really don't need to be throwing about 8, but it's fine.
All right.
Just say you're broke.
Did you just listen to me talk about how I'm picking Illinois, even though I've lost like 55 times in a row picking them?
That's yeah, true.
Yeah.
But all right, yeah. That's everything that we have for y'all. We'll see y'all Thursday or Friday, whichever day we upload the NFL podcast.
If Alex doesn't schedule it to upload on the wrong date again.
Yeah.
I don't do that again, but y'all have a great rest of y'all's week, and I hope y'all can maybe win some money off these picks that we gave you. Thank y'all. See you later.
Goodbye.
Well, hold on if you'll let me end it.